Welcome to the new era, my husband Greg announced, slapping a laminated chart onto the kitchen fridge. He called it the 50-50 household contract. I just smiled and said, okay. I already knew this was going to backfire spectacularly. Greg and I have been married for 5 years. I work as an accountant from home and he's a software developer. We make the exact same amount of money. But Greg always acted like his time and his money were inherently more valuable. He'd drop $800 on new rims for his truck without blinking. But when I spent $200 on a vintage sewing machine I'd saved up for, he threw an absolute fit. He accused me of bleeding our joint account dry with, quote, hobby nonsense. His grand solution, total separation. We buy our own groceries, do our own laundry, and only clean our specifically designated zones. He looked so incredibly smug, handing me a dry erase marker. He thought he had me cornered. What Greg didn't realize was the absolute mountain of invisible labor I did every single day. I bought the toilet paper, the dog food, the kids' snacks, and his expensive imported shaving cream. I was the one who scrubbed the baseboards and kept track of his family's birthdays. Day one of the contract, I went to the store and only bought groceries for me and our toddler. No craft IPAs, no frozen pizzas, no specialized protein powder. By Thursday, Greg was wearing a bathing suit under his work slacks because he had absolutely no clean underwear left. I only washed my clothes, just like the contract explicitly stated. Then came Sunday. Every single year for the opening week of football season, Greg's dad and his 2 older brothers come over to our house. For 5 years, I've spent my entire Saturday deep cleaning the house, marinating chicken wings, making my famous loaded chili, and stocking the beer fridge. This year, I woke up early, packed a diaper bag, and took our daughter to the city aquarium. I didn't clean his messy den. I didn't buy a single wing. I didn't even take the trash out. My phone started blowing up around 1 o'clock. "Where are you?" Greg panicked through the speaker. "The guys are here in 20 minutes. Where's the chili? Where's the beer?" I took a slow, deep breath. "Greg, we are on a strict 50-50 contract, remember? Your family, your zone, your event, you handle it." And I hung up. When I finally walked in at 4 o'clock, the silence in the living room was deafening. Greg's dad was sitting on a stiff folding chair because the main couch was completely covered in Greg's unfolded laundry. There was a single half-empty bag of stale tortilla chips on the coffee table. His older brother glared at Greg and muttered, "You invited us over for the biggest game of the year, and you literally have nothing? You didn't even wipe down the coffee table?" Greg pointed a desperate finger at me. "She usually does it. She's just trying to prove a point." His dad stood up, shaking his head in absolute disgust. "The only point she proved, Greg, is that you're a 32-year-old man who can't even host his own family without his wife holding his hand. Grow up." They left before halftime. That night, Greg quietly took the laminated chart off the fridge and threw it directly in the trash. The next weekend, he scrubbed the entire house, top to bottom, without me having to say a single word.